Football season is over, and on behalf of everyone at WagerTalk, we want to say thank you for the continued trust you put in our team of handicappers. Our ongoing success relies on the loyalty and support of customers like you. As a way to say thanks, from February 8th through the 14th, we're running a Customer Appreciation Week, and all daily pick packages at WagerTalk.com will be discounted to $9. And yes, of course, that includes any 5% best bets, normally priced at $40. Once again, thank you for your business and trust in the WagerTalk family.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today, everybody. Teddy Covers with me. I'm Lawrence Presman. A pleasure to do this show every day, noon to 1 Eastern, WagerTalk TV. And today, return of the pen. Ralph Michaels right off the top, literally in minutes. Minutes away, Teddy, and I'm excited. Dave Sharapan at the bottom of the hour. I got some free NHL bets. You got a big game breakdown. But first, our bad beats segment.
Let's roll. A little bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books. A recap of the betting world from last night in Prez. This one's going to be fun for you because it's the lead story in terms of bad beat. It was your 5%er on the Blues in the NHL last night. They're up 3-2 on Arizona. Less than a second remaining. Tying goal comes in with 0.7 seconds left. The Blues lose in the shootout. Coyotes win 4-3. Tough beat in the NHL, no doubt about it, for St. Louis backers, including, unfortunately, Prez, your big play last night. In the NBA, Lakers, Thunder, under 220.5. It's 110-107. Wasn't a right side, but you're going to get there. The clock's winding down. The under's going to cash, and then Gilgeous-Alexander gets fouled, hits all 3 free throws. The game goes into overtime. Overtime, where unders go to die. Lakers, Thunder, under bettors did not enjoy the ending of last night's game. When it comes to bad bets, a couple stand out. Look, the markets keep betting against the Wizards when Russell Westbrook sits. This is one to pay attention to. The Wizards, without Russell Westbrook in the lineup, 2-13 straight up. With Russell Westbrook in the lineup, 2-13 straight up. Without Russell Westbrook in the lineup, 4-2 straight up. And yet the knee-jerk, it's just a knee-jerk reaction every day that Westbrook doesn't play. Last night, the Bills bet up to from -2.5 up to -4.5 against the Wizards. Westbrook sits, and lo and behold, the Wizards win the game straight up again without Russell Westbrook. Keep betting against the Wiz when Westbrook isn't playing, markets. Keep doing what you're doing. It's providing opportunities for bettors. They seem to be better without Russell Westbrook this year than they are with him. No Drew Holiday for Milwaukee, so the money knee-jerk towards the Nuggets, +4 to +2. The Bucks had no problem without Drew Holiday. They won by 13, hit a bunch of tough shots in the fourth quarter of that ball game. That was a bad bet. All the Nuggets money. And this is one we talked about on the show yesterday. Gonzaga, BYU, that total bet up from 155.5 to 158. The Zags were bricking free throws last night. Ends up landing 153. All those missed free throws would have made a difference. Instead, ends up being a bad bet. All that steam on the Gonzaga, BYU over. Bad for the books. Mavs T-Wolves total got steamed 224.5 up to 229. Bettors cashed all of those. It lands 249. Wild closing sequence for Dallas and Minnesota. We had a legit middle in the NBA last night. The Suns opened -7. They closed -5.5. No Chris Paul. Ended up hitting their free throws down the stretch to win by exactly 6. Bettors could cash both sides of that game. That's never good for the house. And one final bad for the books. Kansas opened as low as -3, closed -6.5. They won by 12 over Okie State. Books paid out all the Jayhawks bettors last night. They had room to spare. There you have it. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. Back to you, El Presidente.
Teddy Covers, nothing like having not one, 2 bad beats inside of your segment. Oh, yeah. I was on the under in the Laker game, too, and that was second up in your conversation. I just want to say to all our listeners, look, I mean, so many of you guys are so loyal to me, and it's so greatly appreciated. When I lose a play, it absolutely slays me to the core. But there's nothing you can do about it. I lost a play with 0.7 seconds on the clock. I'm going to win a couple of those too. So thanks to everyone. I got some great comments on Twitter, and we're excited. We're moving on today. Teddy, I'm a superstitious man, and I actually threw the sweatpants that I was wearing last night. I threw them out this morning. They're actually on the driveway in a bag in the green bin, never to be seen again. So fresh start. And speaking of start, the Pan Ralph Michaels back with us, my friend. Man, we missed you, dude. Are you superstitious at all?
No, but I'm sure Viv was glad you threw those sweatpants away. They've been pretty ranky for a long time.
Well, Ralph, it's funny. I started the season on a big NHL run, and I wore the same sweatpants for 12 straight days. And Vivian was the one that kept telling me not to change them. And I mean, I rode on the Peloton in those sweatpants. So yeah, they were rank. The great thing about it is, Ralph, they're on right now. The lucky 12-day sweatpants are now starting day one of hopefully 12 more days. Anyway, good to have you, bro. We miss you. We love you. I'm excited to have you on the show again.
Well, I'm excited too. Get to talk college basketball. So obviously, that's always where I want to start. And before I do want to remind our people, I'll talk about it a little bit today. The WagerTalk College Basketball Stat Sheet is by far the best download I do. It is exactly the information I look at when I'm handicapping games. It's free. I update it twice a week on Mondays and on Fridays. You just go to WagerTalk.com, go to the Ralph Michaels page, and it is a free download.
Yeah, it's one that I use in my handicapping, Ralph, flat out. I have no problems recommending that. You talk about it's as good as anything you do. And when Ralph says it's as good as anything he does, it means it's good. Check it out. It's free at WagerTalk.com around the Ralph Michaels page. No, I kind of want to talk superstitions for a minute. All right, because Prez got me going here. Yeah,
go.
So
I'm serious. I am serious.
Well, so when I moved to Vegas, the first couple years I didn't have DirecTV yet. I was living in an apartment, all that. So I would go out and watch the games, go out and watch the NFL. And on Sundays I would go to the Santa Fe, which was a local fairly near my house on the northwest side of town, back where I lived back in the day. Fourth quarter, okay, I would wait for a particular urinal in the bathroom. No. If there was someone at that urinal, I would wait. I wouldn't go to one of the other ones. I had a particular lucky urinal that would help me in fourth quarters, and it helped me all year. And then it didn't work again. So I hope your sweatpants work again. I'm not sure they will. Ralph, you got anything like that? Lucky urinals, lucky sweatpants?
No, but you know what? I certainly, everyone, if you gamble, you're superstitious. What underwear did I have on, or what shirt did I wear, or what did I do? But nothing to the extent of you two guys, where I'll tell you what, Teddy, if I have to go to the bathroom, I'm using the first urinal available. I promise you that.
Yeah. I've got a great Vegas urinal story, but it's for another time. Ralph, let's get into it. St. John's versus Butler. Who's going to cover in this game?
I just want to let you guys know both games we're talking about are actual client releases today. So these are all plays that my All Access customers got. And, as we've talked about, this is such a unique college basketball season, and we've seen teams that have historically been good not be as good, be it COVID, be it opt-outs, be it practice situations, and Butler is one of those teams. Butler only 5-3 at home this year. Butler is a team that is not shooting well. They're only 4-4 ATS at home, 2-8 ATS against teams with winning records. Over the last 5 games, St. John's is plus 4.0% shooting. Butler is minus 5.7%. And if you take a look at the WagerTalk stat guide, it shows that St. John's has played the much tougher schedule in conference. And that's what makes my guide so unique, is you get conference-only stats. So you're comparing apples to apples. St. John's has played the 39th toughest conference-only schedule. Butler, the 51. St. John's is plus points per game. Butler minus 4.1 points per game. And the transformation for St. John's this year is freshman point guard Posh Alexander. He was a decent point guard when he started. He was a single-digit scorer. During the St. John's run, winning and covering 6 straight, he is now averaging 18 points per game. It gives him 3 go-to scorers. With that up-tempo offense, St. John's is legit.
So I'm with you on St. John's, and the Redstone have made me and my clients money in recent weeks. Here's my question for you. St. John's has now covered 8 in a row, I believe. They've won their last 6 in straight-up fashion. If you haven't been riding the streak, are you willing to jump on a streak after they've already covered 8 in a row? Or is that a situation where you're like, yeah, maybe the markets are caught up a little bit already?
In this case, Teddy, I have no problems because it's a win and you cover situation. I still think Butler is overrated as well. If you have a big favorite and you're now laying 8 or 9, when a few games ago you would have been laying 3 or 4, I will not play them. But as in a dog situation or in a pick 'em roll, I think there's still plenty of value because win and you cover.
Ralph Michaels, everybody, and that makes great sense to me. Iowa State plus a hair away from a touchdown, plus 6.5 versus TCU. Ralph, who's covering here?
I'm going to jump back to the WagerTalk stat guide, guys, and I don't think any game exemplifies why to use the stat guide more than this. TCU 10-7, Iowa State 2-11. Who wants any part of Iowa State? Take a look at conference-only stats. Yes, Iowa State is winless, but they are minus 11.2 points per game, where TCU is minus 10.7. There is only a half a point per game difference, despite the difference in the records. And when you look at assists, you're getting over 3 assists per game with Iowa State. The key here is this. If you read the Des Moines Register, these players are pissed off about being winless. It bothers them. They're a team that was picked to finish 8th in the Big 12, just behind Oklahoma, just behind Oklahoma State. What's happened? They have absolutely had injury after injury after injury. Well, guess what? Head coach Steve Brome said the game against Oklahoma was the first time that all 5 starters were back. What did they do? They covered that game. Now they're playing a second game. All 5 starters are finally playing with some continuity behind them. Iowa State's been 5-2 as a conference dog. They've been solid. TCU 1-7 as a home favorite. Not only does Iowa State cover, I'm going to say as VR, I'm going to steal a VR's line, sprinkle a little bit on the money line. Iowa State gets this win, and Iowa State is a team moving forward that I will play on and will likely not fade the rest of the year.
Wow, strong statement. And it's funny because I was looking at this game last night and came to your side in a completely different fashion. TCU's been a positive point spread team of late, and I've been impressed with the Horned Frogs when I've watched them, a team with decent size and athleticism. However, TCU is not a team that has any business being asked to win by margin. When you look at them as a favorite, you talked about their struggles in that role where they haven't been covering. They've been covering as dogs and covering as dogs and covering as dogs. You talk about flipping that role. Now, not only have to, it's not about covering as dogs, it's about winning the game and winning it by margin. And I came to the conclusion after studying the game last night, I don't trust TCU to win in these games by margin at all.
And one more point, Eddie, just to back that up. TCU is now 2-5 ATS off a win, so that when they do win straight up, they are a little fat and sassy for that next game and don't play as well. So I'm taking everyone I bet on it today. So I don't know what Kelly's statement is, but I'll have to throw that in as well.
Kicking is for losers.
All right.
Speaking of Kelly, guys, she's going to be on tomorrow's show, so make sure to check that out. Kelly and Arthur DeCesar Ralph, we're going to get you on twice a week. We are struggling to find a second spot for you this week, but I'll speak to you on the phone about that later. A shout out, Teddy doesn't know this yet, but Steve Merrill will be hosting on Friday. I got me some oral surgery. Yeah, Teddy. Flex for me, baby. Flex Tuesdays. I got oral surgery going down on Thursday afternoon. Ralph, we can't let you go without a Friends of Ralph segment. Every time you're on, we're going to keep that going. So what do you got for us?
Well, Prez, second place isn't bad. And I do want to congratulate you. Your NHL season thus far, 21-12, 63.6%, plus 19 units, even after yesterday's loss. Huh?
You took my play?
No, I'm just saying you're second. Congratulations. There is someone actually better than you at Wager Talk. It's Kevin Dolan.
There is.
On in a complete run. 35-18 plus 35 units and 66%. Kevin's play, this is an actual play. So if you guys did buy this play at Wager Talk already, just email support@WagerTalk. They will credit you back. So an actual client play from Kevin Dolan, and it's a dog. Nashville plus 140. Friends of Ralph play continuing on. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, so Teddy, what happens when you prepare a big game breakdown and then Ralph Michaels comes on and gives out your big game breakdown? That's just what happened to me. My penalty box play, Nashville. My penalty box play, Nashville.
You asked a question. What happens? Ralph's allowed to give a play, and then you're allowed to give analysis of that play later on. You don't stress out. But normally, what I try to do is see what plays the other guys are talking about, and then I'll put my big game breakdown in after they do that. So that way I know I'm not talking about a game that has already been broken down on the show. Doesn't work out every time, but most of the time it works out that.
Quick note.
Ralph. Yes, Ralph.
Okay. You know what? The number one capper at Wager Talk has this play. The number two capper at Wager Talk has this play. It does not mean to double your bet. It still equals one play.
Yes. Yes. And don't worry. I know hockey like I know my hands. That sounded terrible. I will have a new play organized, ready to go for the penalty box segment, but I love Nashville as well. Plus 140. Ralph Michaels, what a pleasure to have you on, man. We always miss you. Every day with Ralph Michaels is a good day. What do you got to promote?
Nothing. Just, it's a great week at Wager Talk. You can't beat it. Yesterday, I gave out a 5-play package for $9. So I want to give a special thank you to all of our viewers and all of our customers. Wager Talk is such an incredible company, and the promotions and things they do for our customers is just amazing.
Well said. Let's take a quick break. And then, Teddy, are you getting ready, Teddy? Because yesterday I felt your big game breakdown was an 8. I feel like today is the day that you do it. I want it in rhyming couplets. Guys, 20 seconds. Teddy will do his big game breakdown in rhyming couplets.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.
Big game breakdown time for Tuesday night. Let's talk a little NBA. The Heat versus the Knicks. This is one of these relatively short turnaround situations. Miami and New York played over the weekend. The Heat won by 6 in that contest. And now the rematch here in Miami. Look, the Heat are dead last in the NBA. 7 wins, 14 losses, 2 pushes against the spread in their first 23 games. As favorites, Miami's been even worse. 2-2 in their first 4 tries. Since that time, they've been favored 10 times. They covered once. 7 losses, 2 pushes. Although a win and a push in the last 2 tries. Still, it's not a track record worthy of support. And this has been fairly consistent in recent seasons under Eric Spoelstra. Everyone's looking to make money with Miami. Miami went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, went to the NBA Finals last year. They're a team that had a decent-sized betting bandwagon coming in the campaign, and then it's been injuries and attrition and injuries and attrition, and everyone's looking at Miami going, they're going to figure it out. They're going to put it together. We're going to make money with Miami. And here they are, 7-14. Then again, 7-point spread covers in 23 games. Significant money losers. The Knicks trend has been the under, 17-8 to the under. That's the strongest betting trend for New York so far. The quotes coming out of the Knicks locker room are different now than they were. They really are. Julius Randle, quote, we feel like we have a good shot to win every night. All right. We feel like I'm getting better. We have a lot of guys who can bring a lot of things to the table. Tom Thibodeau, going into the season, the focus was on daily improvement. That hasn't changed. Obviously, there's some things we're doing well, some things we're not doing as well. But we want to keep focused on each game, what's exactly in front of us, build the right habits. I think the Knicks are doing that right now. And Miami is certainly not a team I'm in any rush to lay points with. We're going to make money with the Heat this year, but not in the home favorites role. Let's take a look at the Knicks. Again, you can find plus 6.5s right now widely available. And I don't anticipate we're going to see a ton of Knicks money necessarily between now and tip-off. So I don't know if there's an urgency to bet this one right here. But looking towards the Knicks plus the points in NBA action tonight. There you have it, Prez. Big game breakdown. Let's go back to you.
Teddy Covers. Welcome, everybody. Love this show, guys. It's $2 Tuesdays. Sports Memo and Wager Talk. Drew Martin, the $2 Tuesday handicapper at Sports Memo. And Andrew McGinnis at Wager Talk. Andrew McGinnis is so hot in NHL. I mean, Andrew, Carmen, I text each other throughout the night about hockey. Last night, Andrew had to talk me off of a ledge. Today, he had to talk me off of a ledge because I was told Dave Sharapan is coming on. I was like, oh, God. Really? And then Andrew had to calm me down. Vivian had to give me a back massage. Now I feel much better, and I'm ready to welcome in the great Dave Sharapan. Dave Sharapan, is that you?
Oh my goodness. It is Teddy and Prez. Flex Tuesday is a thing. You see the number of people watching the show increase as we get closer to this segment every week.
Oh yeah.
Teddy's
right.
got gel in his hair now on Tuesdays every week. It's unbelievable.
Dave, we do it for you, bro. We do it for you. Guys, hit that like button. Don't do it for me or Teddy. Do it for Dave Sharapan. This guy is so busy during the day. I mean, he eats 6 times, goes to the washroom 4 times, talks to his wife and daughters. He is a busy dude. So when he takes the time out of his day to show up to Wager Talk, we hit the like button. Dave Sharapan, what do you want to talk about? Super Bowl?
There's lots of things I want to talk about. So why don't I take over right here, Prez?
Teddy, go ahead.
Absolutely. So the first thing I want to ask you, Dave, and this is one that I haven't seen any mainstream publication even touch this subject. What happened on Sunday with all the apps going out? DraftKings goes out, FanDuel goes out, Barstool goes out, BetMGM is out, all through Vegas, all through Nevada, all day. What happened? And most importantly, why is no one talking about it? Where's the info on this? Do you have any info? That's how I want to start the conversation.
Yeah, Teddy, that's a good question. And I'll tell you this, I wasn't behind the counter for the first time in 17 years, right? So I got to experience the Super Bowl on the other side of the counter as a fan. And what did I end up doing? I ended up at the clubhouse at the Westgate with Kelly in Vegas. And I can tell you this, if you haven't watched a game with Kelly in Vegas, let alone a Super Bowl with Kelly in Vegas. I mean, I remember it all because, I'm on strict restrictions as far as what I'm drinking, but I can guarantee it was fun. There was action flying, and We had a blast. My phone was blowing up with guys texting me, "We're down. This system is down. There's something going on." I haven't got the exact dirt on the whole thing, Teddy, but I can tell you this: there was as much money as was handled during the game or prior to the game. There was some bets lost during the game, in game,
Wow.
all of that stuff. There just wasn't. They were down for a while, and there was even a question whether they were even going to be able to be back up to cash out after the game, which would have caused maybe a mini riot in the book. If you'd have told people, well, you can't cash your tickets, our system is down, you have to come back tomorrow. So I think they got it fixed right in time, at least to get it up and cash the tickets. But man, there's a lot of theories as to why. I'm going to actually find out why. I'm going to talk to some people and see exactly what happened. But nobody's talking about it because you know how it goes. I mean, anything that happens like that kind of gets put under the rug and, pushed to the side like Prez does when he's on the ice. It's what he does to people. Just pushes them right aside.
No. I'm the
answer
one that
is
gets pushed.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell Teddy,
so.
I'm a terrible hockey player, man.
I'm
Dave
well
can
aware.
come on and butter me up, but he has to be factual. I mean, talk about how good looking I am, but hockey skills, oh God.
So I just want to follow that up, Dave. So the bottom line is, you don't know, I don't know, we don't know. It's just one of these situations that something happened across multiple sports books, across multiple states on the biggest betting day of the year, and now the story's getting pushed under the rug. Is that fair enough? I mean, I would think David Payne Purdom would have something on this.
Yeah.
Gambling 911. Some of these horrible sites could have something on this.
Again, I've seen this before. This happened coincidentally on very big days in the book. It's a disaster in the book. Nobody wants to talk about it because it's frustrating enough. It's a busy day and you're taking so much action, and it's the last football game of the season. The last thing you need is the system to go down. So as an industry, nobody's going to say, "Hey, we messed up. Hey, we had our systems go down." Nobody wants to advertise that. So you're going to have to do some investigative reporting, and you're probably going to have to get some people to talk off the record. But I can tell you that no one was happy about it, and that will say it won't happen again if it's up to anyone in particular. Let's put it that way.
Dave Sharapan, I'm going to hand it over to Teddy in a sec, but listen, brother, your microphone is hitting your zipper, and it's annoying me.
It will stop. Whoa.
So, yeah.
It's done.
Dave, I did 10 pull-ups, my record. I'm going to videotape it and throw it up on Twitter for you, bro. So I'm going to lay down a challenge.
TikTok. To music,
we did a
TikTok.
Okay, yeah, of me doing pull-ups. That'll be fun.
Pull-ups, yes.
Anyway, Dave, I remember it. I remember it happening before. I mean, listen, back in the day in 2003, 4, 5, that type of era, it was happening regularly. It was DOS attacks against. Oh no,
but that's not legalized, regulated sports books in the U.S. not working on Super Bowl Sunday. That's illegal, unregulated, offshore books. Yes, namaste. Go for it. Lawrence, did you want to finish your statement or no? All right, we'll leave him alone. We'll let him.
Dave,
we'll let him in peace.
It's my new thing.
Let's
Teddy.
talk Super Bowl.
Teddy, I will continue to meditate throughout your moments.
Please. Yes, that'll serve us well. So we have numbers of the handle for Nevada, 137 million, down from 154 million last year, but not way down considering the level of tourism was way down and big bets are being accepted elsewhere. The hold for the Super Bowl, fairly high, close to 10% here in Nevada. I'm hearing even higher elsewhere. Big winners, big losers for the house in terms of props. Talk a little bit about the results on Super Bowl Sunday for the sports books, both here in Vegas and around the country.
So I made my way around to a couple different books, and the hype before was awesome. You could see it, and then you watched the game and you realized, wow, People really like Kansas City props were the story of the day because most people bet them over. And I think the only one that went over was Kelsey receiving yards.
Kelsey.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No. Actually, I got just real quick. I got one wrong on yesterday's show, and I got called out for it on Twitter. Mahomes' attempts went over. So there was one other over that went for Casey, but that was basically it.
Okay. So there were two. So the books did fantastic. I mean, fantastic with the Kansas City props. And don't forget, there was a lot of money on the money line on Kansas City as well. So whether it was, heavy -3 or +3, it was probably not as big of a decision there. But the total going under was a monster. I mean, an absolute monster. So when you weigh everything out, the books were pretty happy. And, I did a bunch of shows Sunday to recap that. You could feel it in the books. Like the energy died at halftime. And then the halftime line came up and everybody bet Kansas City at halftime. They're going to come back. They're going to score. Like the odds of Kansas City not scoring a touchdown were absurd. Who would bet that? Nobody. And then, the Circa book did the squares. You get to pick your square. You get odds on the square, right? Who picks the 9? Nobody picks the 9. When you get the 9 in a square pool, you throw it away. You're a donation. You don't even think you're going to win. And the 9 is the final. So the books really did really well on a day like this. And, it kind of not made up for what was happening in the playoffs, but the playoffs were tough for books going into the Super Bowl. So again, there's no sympathy for the book when they lose, and there's even less when they win. So now we got to find ways to beat the books and improve with college basketball, NBA, and hockey going forward.
Dave Sharapan, we got more questions for you. I'm going to jump to NBA and then we'll go back to NFL. We got a bunch of games going tonight, dude. What do you like? What are you hearing? What could our listeners bet?
The first game of the day is the Nets, and why would you take the Pistons? That's a really tough one there. It feels almost light on the road at 6.5. Another one that's 6.5 or 6 that doesn't feel light is the Jazz and the Celtics. I feel like the Jazz and the Celtics. The Jazz are 18-5 and one of the top teams in the NBA. And they look like at home they're unstoppable. Why is this thing only 6? I think you'll see this one get driven up by the public, and I'm leaning Celtics there. I just think that, the Celtics are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference for whatever that's worth. But 6 is the number where you start to go, for me, in a game with good team against good team. And I think both of those are good teams.
Dave,
the rest of the games again. Go ahead.
No, keep going, bro. You're rolling, baby.
No. Jump in there. Just jump in there. Let's go.
Well, I wanted to know what you thought about the total in that Boston Utah game. Utah themselves are putting up just lights out points, and now you got a 220, which in this day and age is low.
Yeah. So that's the one. You look at that one and you kind of go, why is that so low? So I'd have to dive a little deeper. I'm with you. I thought, when I saw that number, I'm like, why is that only 220? That feels like a 228, 226 number, at least to start. So,
right.
Well, the Celtics don't play with pace. The Celtics don't play with pace, and the Jazz are a difficult team, in my mind, to bet totals with because their offensive execution is off the charts. When they're hitting threes, they go over. And their defensive execution is off the charts. So when they're playing defense, they go under. So Utah is a tough team for me total-wise. Not one that I would necessarily look at for tonight. But Dave gives us some actionable info, taking a look at Boston plus the points in Salt Lake City this evening. Dave, I want to cycle back to NFL real quick before we get into college hoops for tonight, because I want to ask about the future book for next year. Do we see money come in the day or two after the Super Bowl where people start, looking for long shots, looking for next year's Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Is there a bunch of money that comes in the 48 hours after the Super Bowl, or not so much? And if so, who are they betting?
No, it actually comes in the weekend before the game. And even leads to confusion because, someone comes in and, tries to buy Kansas City to win the Super Bowl next year and they get this year's price, or they think they're buying this year's price and they get next year's ticket. I've been in the book having to explain to the guy who came up with a Tampa Bay to win the Super Bowl next year. And he says, here, I'm here to cash my ticket. And you're like, sir, you got next year's Super Bowl. And he's like, what are you talking about? And either the ticket writers knew, you didn't check your ticket. Either way, you didn't win. You wouldn't have gotten Tampa 9-1 to win the game today, sir. That one's on you. So, you see it all the time. Listen, you type Jets tickets to win the Super Bowl this weekend. I mean, anything 100-1, 150-1, people are buying. Like there's, and people that are here to experience the Super Bowl that are Kansas City Chiefs fans, they're buying tickets on them next year. So you see, I mean, you'll even see Lions tickets to win the Super Bowl. I mean, listen, I know Johnny's watching the show and his last name's Detroit, but the Lions aren't winning the Super Bowl. They're just not, but they come with it all the time. So you get bets on every single team this weekend leading up to the game. And then the 2 days after, before people go back to wherever they're from, you'll type a ticket on almost every single team in the league to win the Super Bowl. Sometimes you see some big shots. A guy will take a shot for a dime at 150-1 on the Jets. I don't know if he's just giving it back or he thinks he's going to be live, but I mean, I'll be surprised if the Jets make the playoffs, let alone, have a chance to contend for the Super Bowl. But you write the tickets anyway. You just keep writing them.
Yeah, there's a reason that the future book odds are prominently displayed in every sports book in Vegas all the time. You walk into the sports book, you can't miss the future book. The sheets are right there. The odds are on the board, et cetera, et cetera. It's a very profitable wager in general for the house. Just a few minutes left here with Dave Sharapan at SportsBKConsig on Twitter, short for Sportsbook Consigliere. Came up with a great thread this morning talking about the Super Bowl line. And I encourage you all to give him a follow and give that thread a read. Dave's story time from the books are a must-have, both for entertainment purposes and for knowledge purposes. They're good threads. So I encourage you to check them out at SportsBKConsig. Yeah. Before we let you go, Dave, anything in college hoops stand out for tonight? Are we seeing sharp money? What do we got for actionable info on the college basketball side of the equation?
I'm going to take a pass on the college basketball because usually Steve Merrill's on the show on Tuesdays with me, and he's the college basketball guru. So who did you go to when Steve couldn't do the show? My goodness, you got the pen, Ralph Michaels, to talk about college basketball. So I think he had it handled. I was looking at the hockey, and only because, I know Prez, he's not a good hockey player, but he picks the games pretty good. So I figured we would, talk about a quick hockey game.
Well, let's go to hockey, Dave. Go straight to hockey, bro. Give us some hockey info.
Well, we've been talking about these totals, and like you said it last week about how important it is to bet the night before. Yeah. So every Monday night I make it a point to look at the overnights, and then I see what they are when we wake up on Tuesday. The Canadian division games, both games yesterday went under, and this past week there were more unders than overs. But Edmonton and Ottawa is 6.5 flat, and I just think it's an overplay. So you get that it's 6.5 flat, which means minus 110 before you have to lay 20 or 25 later, because that over money's coming, and it's going to go that way. The Ducks and the Knights, man, the Knights are at home, minus 220. It seems like the right price. The Knights haven't lost yet at home, so maybe laying a little bit of a price, but minus 220. I feel like, that one's going to win as well.
Dave, why wouldn't you take why wouldn't you take Vegas in regulation instead of laying minus 120? I mean, obviously a lot of these games go to overtime, but this is one of those games where you've got a really, really fast team against the slow team. It could be a blowout. Why take the game in overtime?
That's a perfect explanation. If that option is available to you, you probably should do that in this one. You don't have to lay the 220. You can lay a much less price and take your shot that they win it without having to play overtime. The other one for me is San Jose and LA. How is San Jose a road favorite there to me? I think the Kings are live. I take the plus money for sure. And,
Yeah.
I can't trust the goaltending situation for either team, but
Yeah.
I can't make San Jose a favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And the Kings have been surprisingly decent this year. And they're scoring. Dave Sharapan, everybody. Outstanding stuff. Awesome segment. We love you, Dave. Thanks for joining us. Guys, I gotta go pick the biggest bruiser on the other team, beat the crap out of him, and get put in the penalty box. So give me a second, please.
Sure, but let's give Dave one quick chance to promote before he leaves. Dave, anything you got to promote before we let you go?
Real quick, just the Twitter handle at SportsBeatCakeAndSig. The podcast is still at GT Cash Consider. We did a Super Bowl special. It's available now. And I posted a thread today. Please go in there and jump in. Most of the guys in the business I know schedule vacation for the week after the Super Bowl. Mrs. Consig scheduled me for a colonoscopy. And I wanted to know whether the day before or the day of the actual procedure is worse. And I made an opening number of day before minus 185. Apparently, it's the worst number I ever made in my life. And I'm going to be running to the bathroom the rest of the afternoon. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
Be safe, Dave. Hope it works out well. I've got oral surgery this week as well. So, yeah, we're getting old, baby. We're getting old. Guys, 20 seconds for me to beat the shit out of somebody and get put in the penalty box.
Football season is over, and on behalf of everyone at WagerTalk, we want to say thank you for the continued trust you put in our team of handicappers. Our ongoing success relies on the loyalty and support of customers like you. As a way to say thanks, from February 8th through the 14th, we're running a customer appreciation week, and all daily pick packages at WagerTalk.com will be discounted to $9. And yes, of course, that includes any 5% best bets, normally priced at $40. Once again, thank you for your business and trust in the WagerTalk family.
Don't really know how I could sit in a penalty box listening to that kind of music. I was mad, dude. That guy sticked me right in the Adam's apple. I beat the crap out of him, got put in the penalty box, and had to listen to the 1970s Luau Three's Company Slave remix version. Anyway, Teddy. So this is a quick story for all you dads out there. I got 19 and 17-year-old daughters. Neither of them like sports. So the Super Bowl, I'm like, I want to watch it with my kids. So I call them both in. I'm like, guys, set up an account, offshore book. I'll put $40 in each account. Make a whole bunch of bets. We'll watch the Super Bowl together. They made a ton of bets. I got killed in the Super Bowl. Both my children doubled their money. So my youngest wakes up on Monday and she texts me, Dad, when are you awake? I need to make bets for tonight. So I'm like, woohoo! So she bet on Tampa Bay and St. Louis yesterday. And she sat with me for the entire games. I have a bank of TVs, screaming and yelling like a lunatic. And then she realized there was a cash out option at the book. So she cashed out St. Louis, cashed out Tampa Bay, won a whole lot of money again, and then watched me proceed to cry hysterically when Arizona scored in 0.7 seconds. She went downstairs and literally texted me how sorry she was that I lost. But the moral of the story is, get your kids a betting account if you want them to bet and enjoy your pastime. Probably not a good parenting story. Anyway, 20 seconds. We're playing Calgary tonight, guys. Minus 135 against Winnipeg at home. Bottom line here, honestly, is Calgary and Winnipeg are going to split series. Winnipeg won the last two. This Calgary team is much better than their record. Take them at minus 135. Teddy Covers! Are you going to teach Isaac how to become a gambler?
So far, he's shown no interest. I shouldn't say he's shown no interest in gambling, but he's shown no interest in actually watching sporting events with me whatsoever. So if he's interested, I'll teach him. My hunch is he's going in a different direction. He doesn't play a whole lot of sports either. Kid's a musician. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
That
Speaking
said,
of which, Teddy, no, let me jump in. Oh, you want to talk about the betting thing? Go ahead. Go. Sorry, my bad.
I want to wrap up the show and say goodbye to our audience.
Okay, do that.
We'll
talk my shit tomorrow. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm ready.
So let's wrap up the show and say
I want to
goodbye
talk
to our
about
audience
more
again.
stuff.
We really appreciate
I'm ready.
you taking time out of your busy day to hang out with Prez and I. I'm going to thank Ralph Michaels for joining us. I want to thank Dave Sharapan for joining us. Both excellent follows on Twitter, at CalSportsLV for Ralph, at SportsBKConsig for Dave Sharapan. You can follow me at Teddy_Covers. What's your Twitter handle, Prez? Prez?
At Prez Wager Talk. Are you starting with me, Teddy?
I'm not.
Can't start. All I got is love.
I appreciate that.
All I got is love.
Can I finish closing out the show, or are you going to keep dancing and singing over there? Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Please give us a like, a thumbs up, and if you can, tell a friend about WagerTalk Today. We'll be back again when, Prez?
Tomorrow, noon Eastern. Get out of here. Love you guys.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.